The fireworks time slot has been rolled back, many parades have returned to the streets of Disneyland, and the Golden Horseshoe is finally back in action. There's so much to talk about, so many things to touch on. It's time we drop in to Disneyland. Are you ready? So am I. Let's go. What's going on, everybody? Wade for the Kingdom Report back with you once again to cover all things Disneyland Park with this in-park update. Hey, first and foremost, we are smacked with the reality that reservations are still required for entry into the theme parks. Now, I know we've been hearing this for months ever since their return. However, I was a victim of the reservation system on this particular day. In fact, there are tiered tickets that you can buy for different tiered days. That's how Disneyland sells their tickets. So on a busy day, it might be a tier 5. On a not so busy day, it might be a tier 1. You pay based on how high a tier is. Well, on this particular day, I was able to book a reservation for this day, which was considered a tier 5, with a tier 2 ticket. I didn't know it was a tier 5 day. Long story short, I get to the main entrance and it's considered an invalid ticket, even though their system allowed me to make a reservation. Spoke with the supervisor who basically told me I was out of luck and didn't have any other recourse than to pay to upgrade the ticket to a tier 5, and hopefully I would get a reservation. Fortunately, I had another ticket on my app that didn't have any restrictions, and I still was able to secure a reservation for the same day. That's not always the case, and this is a good reminder to everybody. Still check to make sure your tickets match up with your reservation. Hey, it's Disneyland. The magic is here. Let's head up Main Street, USA, and get this started. It was an unusually cool summer's morning here at the happiest place on earth, and it felt fantastic to be sure. Hey, here at the edge of Main Street, the Plaza Inn is about to welcome back Minnie and Friends breakfast in the park. That's right, character dining is returning inside Disneyland Park for the first time since its reopening. The Plaza Inn has not had a breakfast option. In fact, it's only open for lunch and dinner since it returned. And so now Minnie is coming back home in a modified character dining experience to start August the 12th with the full buffet in effect. So if you want to get a reservation, I'm not kidding, they open on August the 11th. Yeah, the day before. So good luck getting an August 12th reservation. Let us know if you snag one in the comments. We move into Tomorrowland, where I wanted to point out that the theater right next to Space Mountain, known as the Tomorrowland Theater, remains vacant, remains empty at this time. You might know it as the place where you used to see Captain EO and Path of the Jedi. Well, right alongside this theater is Starcade, a place that has long been dark. Well, it is now being turned into an annual pass holder lounge, all to accommodate the new Magic Key Annual Pass Holder program, so that will be coming along very soon. Elsewhere in Tomorrowland, Star Wars Launch Bay, the 2-story mega building here in the center of the land, still remains closed at this time. It was really just sort of a glorified mega meet and greet for Star Wars characters, and then kind of a shop and a location where you could take a look at various artifacts from Star Wars Land and Galaxy's Edge. Hopefully it comes back as something even more spectacular in the future. The monorail remains closed, and that is still very unfortunate, as the Downtown Disney monorail station remains shuttered, as well as Tomorrowland. Hopefully we will see the monorail back with us in the near future. Walt Disney World has been back for a very long time. It'd be great to see those monorails return. And yes, we covered this the last time around, but we did notice that inside of Finding Nemo's submarine voyage, not only is it set to resurface winter of 2021, but they are also touching up the subs as we speak. So great to see it getting some TLC. Moving back to Fantasyland now, a giant walled-off area has been erected right in front of the Fantasyland Theater, just next to It's a Small World. There are signs indicating that things are open, so this way for Toontown, this way for the railroad station, this way for restrooms. But the corridors are so narrow that very few people even know that these sections are open. So we do head down this path to really just show you that the last time we were here, Fantasyland Theater, this whole area was completely made over for the Jungle Cruise world premiere film debut, and now it's back to normal, but with this giant wall in front of it. Looks like they're just doing some repaving work at this point. But also one thing worth noting back here, so few people knew that you could still access this route to Mickey's Toontown train depot that very few people were taking the train from this area. So I would advise you to use the Toontown depot if you can. Also, something that we wanted to make note of is Mickey's Toontown closing at 8 p.m. because fireworks have been rolled back from 9:30 to 9 p.m. start time, mainly for the sake of dealing with the big crowds. There are big excess crowds that all try and rush out at the same time. This allows for a little bit more time between when the park officially closes and fireworks time. So once again, 9 p.m. for the fireworks show. We move into Toontown proper, where you see the big walls still set up and very intrusive, unfortunately, around Toontown City Hall. Five and Dime and the Gag Factory completely torn out, all making way for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. We see little signs of visible progress, but we do know that this building itself hopefully will have some facade work done in the near future and not be nearly as intrusive and visible to the rest of the smaller facades. Hopefully we will find some hills back there or maybe some other different designs to kind of take us away from the harsh reality of a giant warehouse erected behind this lovable little animated town. Speaking of animated town, Mickey and Minnie can still be met at their front porches. You can't go inside just yet, but they are out there saying hello, and every once in a while, special guests like Marie from the Aristocats drop by. Hey, we move over to New Orleans Square, where that monstrosity of facade work is still happening. I don't know what else to call it. I think we mentioned last time that this looked like they were fumigating. Facade work happening in New Orleans Square. It really just is not reflective of the beauty of New Orleans Square, and that's why this sticks out so unfortunate. They are doing facade work clearly, but rather than use facades like they normally do, where the scrim has basically what's behind it, so what you're missing is usually painted on the cover of the scrim, they kind of went with this circus tent looking thing. And so at any rate, the stores are open, you can still access this area. It just isn't quite as nice as New Orleans Square might usually be. Great news in Frontierland, and that is the Golden Horseshoe is finally back in action. Great to see her back. In fact, I think the last time we spoke during an update, I was talking about how nice it would be if the Golden Horseshoe would have been opened up for air conditioning, just because it's a hot summer day. It'd be nice to have the space available. Then we heard a date was coming, and now it is officially here. Back open for us, still serving up those sundaes, still serving up the fried chicken. You get your chicken strips here, your fish and chips, your sodas, your floats, you name it. Entertainment not back on stage just yet, but hey, beggars can't be choosers, right? Nice to have the restaurant back, nice to have the seating back, and the saloon itself. So wonderful to see it back in action. And hey, we move towards the castle now, where the Royal Theater still plays host to lots of our royal friends right outside of the Princess Royal Hall. This location has been converted into a distanced meet and greet for the royal figures, not just the princesses, but those within the films like Flynn Rider. This used to be a place where you could come see the sort of stories of these characters played out on stage in sort of a vaudevillian style atmosphere. You used to come in here, sit down, big bench seating area. No longer, as it remains a place for distanced meet and greets, but it being an outside theater, it does meet health and safety standards by all accounts. It would be nice to see those shows return in some capacity in the near future. One great thing I noticed out here in the hub on this sort of cordoned off patch of grass, Alice from Alice in Wonderland was saying hello to her friends, and a little further down the mound, our friend from the 100 Acre Wood, Mr. Eeyore, I think is his correct title, was out here with his lovable net to catch his butterflies. Unfortunately, Isn't that always the case? Just like it for Eeyore, there were no butterflies today. He tried his best. One thing I love, I'm seeing so many more characters out and about, so many more characters in these sort of distanced interactions. I gotta say, it's fantastic just seeing them to begin with, but seeing so many more of them throughout the park really adds to the magic. And the box area, this sort of walled-off area right in front of the Astro Orbiter, remains. It's been there for like 2 years, and the concept art for how the new entry to Tomorrowland is still posted there. We just haven't seen any progress. We're waiting to see when this entrance is finally going to come to fruition, and hopefully after the entrance is installed, we start seeing some big upgrades to Tomorrowland, because we all know it needs a little bit of help as it continues to run into the problem of it being not as futuristic as it once was. That's the problem with the Land of the Future. It always competes with the now. Hey, one thing I wanted to point out was just how quiet Disneyland has become in recent days. As we move into August, a lot of kids are heading back to school. We are seeing wait times at Star Tours, Astro Blasters of 5 minutes, 15 minutes for Space Mountain, 10 minutes for the Matterhorn, 5 minutes to get on It's a Small World. This is a great time to visit the happiest place on Earth. We head down a very quiet main street to point out to you that Carnation Cafe is returning after a long winter's nap. The last update, we were talking about how there were some staffing issues, which is the main reason why they hadn't opened just yet. Well, good news. The beginning of September, I think about a week in or so, Carnation Cafe is returning to Main Street USA. Speaking of returning, mini parades are here in place of big parades. Let's take a look at what snuck up on me on Main Street USA. Mini parades, or cavalcades as they are often referred to, now taking to the parade routes inside Disneyland and California Adventure. So awesome to see that. Something I wanted to definitely take note of are the stroller upgrades going on at the theme parks. If you have ever rented a stroller from Disneyland before, you've probably rented those really hideous green strollers that stand out and just look so bad. Well, look at this upgrade. Mickey on one side, Minnie on the other. They should have always looked like this, right? And by the way, if you love Mickey and Minnie, well, I got a surprise for you. It was a surprise for you because, frankly, it was a surprise for me. I love it when we get surprised by processions like this, and it adds an extra layer of magic to the original Magic Kingdom, that's for sure. My friends, if you are looking to visit Disneyland and California Adventure, there is no greater time than right now. This is the lull between seasons, where basically summer meets Halloween time. And keep in mind, it's not going to be like this for very long, especially as the Magic Key Annual Pass program kicks in soon. So enjoy it while you can and really get all those rides in a short amount of time. It is a lovely experience. Make sure you are subscribed to us with that notification bell turned on, and if you like what you saw here today, hit that thumbs up button. It lets us know that you appreciate what you see, and we'll do more just like it. For the Kingdom Report, I'm Heath. We'll see you next time for another edition of Disneyland Drop-In.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.